Greetings, CBC. Welcome to this week's Sunday warm-up. Keep in mind, over the next couple of weeks, this coming Sunday, we will have Sunday evening in the Word. We'll start back up again. So this Sunday, 6 o'clock, we will have men and women in the Word meeting. And then Sunday, June the 9th, will be the graduate recognition. So if you haven't got that information in yet for us, please do that so that we can put some things together as a nice recognition for all of our graduates this year. All right, this Sunday we're going to move into Romans chapter 9. And once again, we're going to spend an entire month on one chapter. So we're going to go 4 weeks, the next 4 weeks covering Romans 9. Originally didn't have it scheduled for quite that much, but there is so much in Romans 9, and I want to make sure that we are not just rushing through it, or that I guess I'm rushing through it and trying to fly through some of this information, or running out of time, or filling up our time with so much. I want to put it into more, I guess you could say, manageable bites. So I would read all of Romans 9. And making time for it. Romans 9, 10, and 11 really fit as kind of one, a bit of a focused argument, thought through the book of Romans. Funny, I looked up the notes 18 years ago when I last preached a series here through the book of Romans. And 18 years ago, we covered Romans 9 to 11 in 1 week. 1 week. This time, we're going to do Romans 9 to 11 in 8 weeks. So want to spend some slow time working through what's being said here. So for this Sunday, Romans 9, I would just go ahead and read it in its entirety. If you can create some extra space, Romans 9, 10, and 11. Certainly beginning to jot down notes, thoughts. I would still call this kind of a mini series within the series. So anything that you're beginning to see, I would get a separate couple of sheets of paper, notebook, just to begin jotting down thoughts and what the message of Romans 9 is, what the message of Romans 9, 10, and 11 was then and is for us today. This week in particular, we're looking at Romans 9, 1 to 5. So if you want to just kind of zero in on what we're looking at for this particular Sunday, Romans 9, 1 to 5. Look at what is Paul's heart for his people. Keep in mind, too, like how he was even treated by them, which is interesting to see his heart and his passion for his people. What are some of the words in verses 4 to 5? What are they telling us about the people? There's going to be a few other places in Romans we'll look at this week, but for now, really look at just Romans 9, 1 to 5. Now, one kind of larger area that would help give some very useful and helpful background information, especially when we get into 2 weeks from now in Romans 9. There's a lot, there's Abraham, there's Sarah, there's Isaac, there's Rebecca, there's Jacob, there's Esau. So it would be very helpful to familiarize ourselves, even if you're very familiar with it, read it again. But certainly if you're not sure who those folks are that I just mentioned that we're going to see in Romans 9, would be very, very helpful. A very productive use of our preparation time to go back and read Genesis 12 to 27. I would narrow it a little bit there. That's quite a chunk of scripture, but over this week and next week, it really would help prepare for us in 2 Sundays, the second Sunday of June. But as you're reading Romans 9, I would also just wrestle back through Genesis 12 to 27, certainly over the next couple of weeks, to prepare for and help to hear, so that when we're talking about the promises that were made, Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Rebecca, Jacob, and Esau, all those names there, that they would be familiar to us. That's going to be helpful when we're reading through Romans 9 to go, okay, I know what he's talking about here. I know those stories. Versus, I can barely keep up with what's being said here. I don't even know the stories of these folks. I don't know the promises to them. I don't know what was said to them. It just adds to the layers of confusion for us. So this chapter in particular, it's a weighty chapter. There's a lot here. Unfortunately, it's even a chapter that people fight and divide over or ignore. We'll talk about that a little bit on Sunday as well. So that's it. Honestly, fairly simple in terms of preparation. In its simplistic form, Romans 9, 1 to 5. I would add to that just to keep refreshing myself through Romans 9 and maybe Romans 9, 10, and 11 to see the argument as a whole of what Paul's making in this section. And then Genesis 12 to 27, just to get some of those layers of background information and the story of the people of God. All right, have a wonderful day. I don't know how many of you will see this on the day that I upload it, but happy Memorial Day to you as you have some time together. I pray with family and friends. Blessings to you this week, whenever this video may find you, and prayers for you in terms of your and my preparation for this coming Sunday. I would appreciate your prayers for this Sunday. I would appreciate your prayers for this month as we study this chapter together. And again, let's together, all of us, myself included, let's immerse ourselves in this word this week as we study and prepare ourselves for coming together on Sunday mornings. God bless you. Have a wonderful week.